is up? Welcome to my first official YouTube video. My name is JB Morrill, and in today's video, we're going to be getting into my story from my childhood to generating over 100 million views on social media. We're going to go over the ups and downs of my journey as an entrepreneur and what I have learned in the process. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's take this back to my childhood. I was born on June 25th, 2003 in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. I was blessed to grow up in a loving and supportive environment. I had a roof over my head and food on the table, and I grew up with 3 brothers and 2 amazing parents. As a kid, I was happy for the most part, and I really didn't have a ton of friends, just a few really close ones. But I still enjoyed doing the typical kid stuff for fun, like playing video games. My favorite was Call of Duty and Minecraft, and playing sports, playing airsoft. Those were my hobbies as a kid, and I was content that way. However, there was a part of me that started to develop in middle school, and it was the idea that I was destined for greatness. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I just always had this thought in the back of my head that I was going to be different and I was going to live a different life. High school came around, and this is when my first business or career really started. I got deep into the world of launchpadding, and for those of you who don't know what launchpadding is, it's essentially a DJ device or MIDI device that assigns samples of a song to each button. It has 64 buttons, so you can have 64 different samples on each page. And mostly I would just cover songs that I enjoyed, which were mostly in the EDM genre. I was immersed in the world of music, and this is where I began to learn a lot about music production softwares like FL Studio and Ableton Live. And it was because of launchpadding that I started my first YouTube channel, HG Ruler, which had been my Xbox gamer tag for the past several years. I'll leave a link in the description to the channel if you want to go check it out after this video. Anyways, the YouTube channel was never very successful, but it was through this channel that I realized I was obsessed with making my videos better and better. I would post almost every single week, and each week I wanted to create some sort of emotion in my audience, and I wanted to make that emotion more apparent and more significant in each video. And this was the precursor to all of my success on social media, because it was through launchpadding that I found my passion for creating content. So 10th grade came around, and this is when things really went downhill for me. I've been playing football for the past several years, but this was my first time playing in a varsity game. It was the first play of the game, and I was playing nose guard on the defensive line. I was ready to kick some ass, but when the ball was snapped, I felt the pressure of 4 offensive linemen driving me back. For those of you who know your football, that is not supposed to happen unless you are one of the best defensive linemen in the entire nation, which I was not. I later learned that they had messed up the play and were confused on who to block. I got driven back so quickly that my legs couldn't keep up and my knee just went inward. I immediately felt a throbbing pain in my knee as I laid on the field, and I knew something was off and I was going to hear some bad news soon enough. So I was taken to the sideline, and the trainers examined my knee, and I later found out that I had dislocated my patella and would require surgery to fix it. So I got my surgery, and I had to sit at home for what felt like endless days. I had a lot of time on my hands, so I just started scrolling on social media. And as I scrolled, I found this page called Mentality, which was a motivational theme page and clothing brand at the time. I was so upset and down that my entire football season was over, but Mentality was something that uplifted me. It motivated me to keep going and not lose hope. So I became a super fan of Mentality and its owner, Jason Hill. I began to think of ways that I could replicate what Mentality had done on Instagram, which they grew over 1 million followers at the time. I wanted to lift others up just as Mentality did for me, and this is when I got introduced to the world of e-commerce. It blew my mind that I could create a business online through my laptop as a 16-year-old. I spent hours and hours on YouTube learning how to use Shopify, print-on-demand services like Printful, and how to build an aesthetic storefront. And once I had my website and store set up, I needed a way to market my products. So I did what any 16-year-old entrepreneur would do. I would just copy what other businesses were doing. And for me, that other business was Mentality. So I started posting motivational quotes on Instagram thinking that I would have the same success as Mentality did. But the reality of social media hit me very quickly and I didn't see any results. Come the summer before my junior year of high school, I had under 100 followers and a whopping 1 sale. I had no money to spend on ads and my posts were just not performing as I expected, and I knew something needed to change. Then it hit me, TikTok. Keep in mind, this is May of 2020 when COVID recently hit and TikTok was blowing up, and so were the creators on it. I saw the potential in TikTok and I figured if I started posting videos and grew a following, I would be able to market my products to that following. So I made a commitment to myself to post one time every single day, and it wasn't long until I found success. My 4th video had blown up to over 900,000 views, and I gained a whopping 20,000 followers just from that one video alone. After that, I continued to post once a day like I had promised myself, and there were times where growth was stagnant and I wasn't getting many views or followers, but I kept posting one time every single day and continuing to level up my videos in any way I could. And after posting for a little over a year, I had eventually hit 500,000 followers. I couldn't believe it. It was a massive dopamine rush, and to be honest, it really showed me what was possible on social media. However, my clothing brand was still not selling, and honestly, I kept losing money on it every single day, so I decided to close it down the summer after my senior year. But I had gotten used to doing so many things each day, like editing videos and responding to comments, I felt almost lost and bored when I stopped posting those motivational videos. So I figured I needed to do something, and that's when the idea of starting an agency came to mind. After all the success I found on TikTok, I figured that I could teach others how to do this as well. So I started the agency around a year ago and have been helping people grow on social media ever since. And since I've been posting short form videos, I've been able to amass over 100 million views and hundreds of thousands of followers between my clients and my own pages. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned since generating all this success on social media through short form is that the market is constantly changing. There's always new tips and techniques and strategies to social media, but there are really only 5 elements of a video going viral. And that is your hook, your message, your wow factor or relevancy of the video, your quality, and the amount of emotion you are evoking in each video. If you can master all 5 of these elements of a short form video, then you are 100% going to go viral if you just stay consistent and post each day. I'll go more in depth with these 5 elements in a later video, but just remember one of the biggest lessons I learned when posting over the past several years is you have to be obsessed with making your videos better. It seems like generic advice, but trust me when I say I see it all the time. People aren't making their videos better. They're continuing to post the same old generic videos that are getting the same low engagement and they're not doing anything about it. You have to be a perfectionist when it comes to content. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you're new, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'm excited to focus more on YouTube this year, and if you have any video ideas or would like to see something specific, leave them down in the comments. I read all the comments, so let me know, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.